What's up, bikers? I'm Robert, and this is the B1KER Bar Podcast live stream. And today, here we are, episode 107. And oh my God, I forgot to ask Heather how to say her last name before I went live, and I am going to screw this up. So, Heather Munive, I don't know. We're gonna find. Well, that'll be the first question I ask her whenever she gets on. So, you guys that follow her channel more than me, I don't know. Maybe she says it on there all the time. I'm really lacking at my podcast skills right now, but hey, it is what it is. Thank you all for signing in tonight. Those of you guys that are here live, and those of you that are listening on the podcast, whenever. Sweet. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. Any of you that want to help this thing grow, do me a favor. Swing by my Instagram at B1KER, so B1KER B1, or my Facebook page and give that a like. Or you could also hit subscribe on this YouTube channel. And if you want to see more content than just podcasts, you can swing over to the other biker channel, B1KER, and there's some POV stuff over there and regular content. If you would like to help me fill my beer fridge, because I have been doing a damn good job of keeping it empty lately, that would be great. You can stop by Patreon for $1 a month. You can throw like a tip jar in there, get some access to a few coupon codes I have set up with some of the companies that I've had on the show. And then there's some other levels on there as well, or whatever your tiers. That's what they call them over there at Patreon. One of these days I'll get this whole spiel down. I would just be dialed like Joe Rogan or something like that, and we can talk about whatever the sponsor of the week is, and I'll just be rolling around like, hey, this week I'm going to go over to Spotify because I make more money over there. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get this thing started, because it's enough of me rambling. And here we go. How's it going, Heather?
What's up? How are you? Making me laugh over here.
So now you got to tell me, how do you pronounce your last name?
So my dad says it Munive, but you can just Munive. Munive is the real way, but most people just kind of Munive. Heather Munive.
Munive is the way your dad says it?
Munive, yeah.
Munive. What's the background? What is that?
I don't know. I mean, my family's Ecuadorian, goes way back.
Okay.
Not too sure where it came from.
For whatever reason, I want to like add a V in there. Every time I look at it, I want to say Munive.
Well, it is a V.
Huh?
It is a V. I mean, I guess it's just...
No, but I want another one in there. Like, I want Munive is what I want to say. I want to make up my own name.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, for whatever reason, my ADD brain is just like, yeah, let's throw some extra characters in there.
Sounds good.
So, anyways,
yeah. What do you have back there? Your background's just a bunch of good stuff back there.
Oh, man,
got a light up helmet, goggles.
Yeah, I bought a glass head. This is what the people on Patreon pay for, man.
Wow, that's so cool. That is
cool. Yeah. So I thought it'd be cool to have like some more bike stuff. This thing is like evolved over time. If you go back to some of the beginning podcasts, it was like a glass window, and then
I saw one with I forgot his name. Crap. But I saw one, and it was different. It didn't have the light up helmet.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of things going on there in the background over time.
Upgrades.
Yeah, it takes time. You know what I'm saying? Like you just get better at things as you go. And I think every time I would change it, I'd be like, man, this looks really cool. And then like 6 months later, I'd be like, dude, that looks ghetto as fuck.
Do you keep adding onto it and like taking things down, or it completely just changes every time?
It's a little bit of like adding and taking, like there's been a few like major overhauls. When I put those shelves in that are back there, that like really kind of changed it a lot. And then at that point, like it used to just be like a bunch of beer bottles and stuff back there, because it's like the biker bar, right?
I think that might have been one that I watched.
Yeah. And so like once I built those shelves, I was like, I want to have like more like random kind of like bike stuff and things that are like more to do with the channel than just beer.
Yeah. So I think you got it. You're nailing it.
Yeah. So I feel like it's pretty dialed right now.
Yeah. But, I really love that helmet. So
thank you. Yeah. That's I thought it was pretty sweet touch too. I was trying to come up with something over here on the other side.
My eyes just keep going to one side.
Yeah, right. I was like, do I need to get another helmet? Is that what I have to do? I don't even know. So maybe something cool will pop up along the way and it'll make more sense. But I ended up making this little light over there. So
That's so fun. I thought that was part of the screen, like a little one of the little buttons on the.
no, it's just the
Yeah,
box.
that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm like a basic white bitch right now because I bought a Cricut for like a month ago. You know what that is?
Mm-mm.
It's like a crafting thing that like 40-year-old ladies like do all kinds of crafts.
You
with.
made that?
Yeah, so like I started making stickers and like shirts and stuff. So,
Dang,
but
I'm
the
gonna have to
main
hit
reason
you
that
up
I
for a
bought it,
sticker.
yeah, it's just ridiculous. I don't know.
That's so
It's had
cool.
all my interest lately. That's all the YouTube videos I'm watching. You should see my like the feed of what it's trying to show me. It's like it's real. YouTube's algorithm is confused as hell with me.
Well,
Like,
are
what
you
is going
watching
on?
that kind of content? Are you watching?
Well, I
it
had
all?
to watch it so I could figure out how to work the thing.
That's
But
awesome.
oh yeah, so it's definitely been interesting. That's for sure. There's not many dudes doing crafting videos. Let me tell you that.
No, so you'll be one of the first.
Yeah, maybe I'd be onto something. I go ahead and
I
get
think
started.
so. I'd watch it.
That's hilarious. Right on. So, what made you decide to get into YouTube?
Oh man, I don't honestly. It was the whole. I mean, we were on lockdown. Everything was happening. Like we just weren't racing. And I mean, I felt like I had to do like more for my sponsors and just to be out there riding. And one day we went to Virgin, Utah, and that was like the first video. We just kind of. Well, let me take it back. Actually, like 3 years ago, I went on a trip with Rachel and Laura, two other mountain bikers. We went to North Star, and it was Laura had a van, and we took her van all the way to North Star. In the process of going up there, we had to make it for a 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning yoga thing that we had to be involved on Saturday morning, and then we were like the guest coaches. Well,
so you guys were up there for like Interbike or something, huh?
No, we were out there it was an event in North Star.
Yeah.
And the van broke down on the way up. We weren't going to make it. We didn't make it, but we made it in time for like the coaching. And it was just such a fun trip that we were like, wow, we should have just documented this. This was awesome. And then we wanted to just do more of those types of trips. And then COVID came and Rachel had a baby. Laura moved to France. And I mean, I was just the one left. And I've always had that in mind that I wanted to kind of just venture around and just ride everywhere and everything. And I don't know, during COVID, I just kind of started filming stuff and just put out a first video, and it kind of went well. And then ever since then, I just kept doing it.
Yeah, I'd say your videos went well right out the gate. I remember seeing like pretty immediately, like you were getting pretty big views like right away.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's algorithms or something.
yeah, right. Whatever it is, just when you figure it out, let me know, because
I'm still trying to figure it out. But it's like honestly, I want to share my passion for riding through these videos, and like anything that I can maybe even teach or anything. Like if someone learns something from the video, I think I'd be stoked on that. I mean, and I just want to ride everywhere. Like I have this van, I'm building it out, and my goal is by January, hopefully, to just venture off and hit every mountain, hit every local trail. And I want to connect with everyone that's on YouTube. Like anybody that's following me, I want to go to their home trails and just learn more about riding everywhere.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, I think one of the reasons that you're getting the response that you are is, I mean, you're super stoked on your videos and like fun to watch that. You like to laugh, and that is that's that's intriguing. People don't want to watch something boring or somebody.
Honestly, it's riding bikes is just seriously the greatest thing ever. And if I can get someone else on a bike and just realize that'll be awesome. I just have so much fun. Like there's nothing better. It's crazy. I can't imagine my life without it. And I just pretty much got into riding. I mean, I started riding and racing when I was 24, 23. And
how old are you now?
31.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was, I mean, I didn't grow up like racing bikes and stuff. So it was cool. I just kind of picked it up. The first day that I was on it, I didn't really know how to, jump or do anything. I just kind of learned it all.
So what made you decide to start riding mountain bikes at like 24? Because that's
so I rode BMX. I raced BMX when I was 10
Oh,
one
okay. So
year,
you've been
broke
on
my
bikes for a
arm,
long
broke
time.
my arm though, and then never touched the bike
Oh
again.
no.
Yeah, so I played
So
soccer
you
all through.
retired at 11. You were like, I'm
Yep,
done.
I'm done. Never touched it again. I played college. I mean, I played soccer like high school, college, until I graduated. Graduated and got a pretty successful career job. I was in the aviation industry. I was selling planes for about 2 years. I mean, life was going great. I mean, this is what I was raised like. You go to high school, you go to college, get a career job, get married, have kids, the whole, that. So I was like, this is great. Everything's going good. Unfortunately, in that time, my mom ended up getting cancer, and it kind of just rocked us all and just kind of changed my life. I mean, I was in a successful career job, but I just felt like just seeing my mom go through something like that, it made me realize there's just so much more to life and just so much more. Unfortunately, during that time, I didn't really appreciate things as much as I appreciate them now. And it's unfortunate that I had to go through something like that to kind of realize, life is beautiful. There's just so much more. And at the time I was working and had a good job and stuff, but money isn't everything. And I just wanted to wake up with more of a purpose in my life. And I felt like I picked up a bike, and it was around that time that it kind of just entertained me to like kind of get away from other things that I was going through. And then one day I just realized like, man, I want to start racing. And it was just something that evolved into what it is now. But it was
you just got on Amazon one day and ordered a bike, or you had a friend that rode a bike?
I think I had a Trek or something. I was always involved in biking and stuff. Like my uncle always had a mountain bike in New Jersey, and I would always like ride sometimes when I would visit him. But yeah, I ended up just getting myself a bike. I think it was like a Cannondale or something, hardtail. Just rode around in Florida, started getting a couple friends. My boyfriend at the time, he was riding. So like we just kind of traveled everywhere in Florida and rode. Went to Colorado, and I did the Big Mountain Enduro race, and I got hooked. And I bought a full face helmet that day. I bought pads and everything. And I was I raced it, and I was like, whoa, I want to do this. Came back home. I was like, Mom, Dad, I want to quit my job. I mean, I thought about it. It was scary at the time, but like the job's always going to be there. I can always go back to that. This is something that I want to do right now. And honestly, it's completely changed my life. I've met so many incredible people, seen so much of, every state, riding my bike and just seeing so many beautiful places. The bike has brought me so much happiness, and I like can't get enough of it.
Yeah. How'd your parents feel about that?
So they were a bit concerned, and my mom's okay. She's getting better. It was a couple years that she was just going through chemo and everything, but that was rough.
Well, that's good to hear.
She's good now. And at first I told them, and they were like, "You're crazy." All my friends were like, "You're leaving this career job for what? To ride your bike?" And I had no clue. I had no clue what I was doing. I ended up moving out to California. I mean, I had a couple sponsors that helped me here and there. But it just kind of grew and evolved, and I somehow made it work. And I've been out in California for the past like 6 years.
When you raced that race that made you decide to quit your job, like what were you racing? What level were you racing at?
Oh, just amateur.
So like you're an amateur racer in Colorado, and you're like, I'm going home, quit my job, fuck it.
Pretty much. I started BMX. I was racing that for like about a year, and then I rode for DK bicycles, and they had Airborne. They started the mountain bike company, so they were giving me they just wanted me to race that, like a mountain bike. So I was like, okay, this is perfect. I'll go race this stuff. It just kind of evolved into something bigger and better. Yeah. It was, I met the right people, or not sure how it went, but
I feel like if you have the right attitude with things, like things will happen. You know what I mean? And it seems like you have a pretty like positive outlook. And
I just dived into it, and I gave it my all. And like, I feel like as I'm growing up, I'm realizing, I'm the type of person that if I say something, I'm gonna try everything in my power to do it. Like I can't be a liar. I can't say something out loud and not do it. So I kind of just try and do it. Yeah.
So you said you moved to California. Where did you end up in California?
So I started in Chula Vista. It was like right by the Olympic Training Center. I lived with a few BMXers, and I would ride with them. And then I was going back and forth, just trying to figure it out. I was like renting a room. And then I met a friend, and he introduced me, or actually just told me Kyle and Rachel are have a room, and I could like probably live with them. And I didn't know them at the time, so I mean, they opened their home to me without even knowing me and just kind of taking a risk. But now we're like best friends, and I mean, Kyle and Rachel, you know them, they're like huge. So so yeah, and like living at the Straits, it's I mean, probably the best place to mountain bike and live there with them. So anyways, Rachel hit me up and she was like, yeah, you want to just check out the place? I think I like FaceTimed her, met her through FaceTime, saw the place, and ended up buying a car out here, moving everything out there, drove, and here I am. I was like, hey guys, we met, and I started living there. I was there for like 4 years. It was the greatest thing ever. They became like family to me.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's totally crazy.
It's
so
wild.
Yeah, right. Do you think you would have done anything differently? Like, even though like that was pretty like ballsy the way that you went about it, but looking back, do you think there was something that maybe you should have done a little differently? Or?
No, if I thought about it anymore, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Right,
so I'm glad I didn't give it that much thought, and I just kind of did it. I mean, if I really thought about it now, and I'm moving in with like complete strangers, essentially,
right.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done it, but something just kind of made me do it. And I'm happy I did.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it played out, but I mean,
yeah.
I bet if one of your friends was telling you they were doing that, would you be like telling them?
Yeah, I would say like, no, what are you doing? You're crazy. Oh yeah. This is why I probably didn't really tell people that much of what I'm about to do, because I knew myself, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, everyone's going to tell me just don't do it. But man, I did it, and I'm so happy I did.
So what was driving you to do that? You just like loved bikes so much. You're like, I don't care.
It. And it was honestly, bikes just make me happy. And there's just something about it that I just absolutely fell in love with. It's a passion of mine that I'm just so driven by it. It's unreal. I mean, I didn't know pretty much any of the things that I can do now. I mean, I'm learning every day, but I dedicated myself to learn something. It was such a huge challenge in my life. And I've just come to realize all these challenges are just, I love embarking on them because I'm growing every time through them. Like, everything I try and do is hard, and I'm going to find struggles and everything, but I'm just going to, evolve into a better person, or just figure it out.
Yeah. I hear you there. So I was reading your profile on, I think it's like Live Cycles or something like that. And it said you were born in Jersey. How long did you spend up there?
I didn't. So my family lived in Jersey. My mom, dad, I have a few aunts and uncles, and then my siblings actually lived there. But my parents we moved to Florida, and then it just so happened that I think we were going back to visit. I was born a month early, so we were just like road tripping back to New Jersey, and my mom's water broke actually in Delaware.
Oh no.
And like, now that we look back at it, it's like, oh my gosh, you guys drove me from Delaware to New Jersey in my mom's belly when her like water broke. Anything could have happened. But yeah, we were driving there to go visit my aunt and uncle or something, and my mom's water broke in Delaware, and I ended up being born in Jersey, where my brother and sister were born and everything. They said that they went to the hospital there in Delaware, and like, they just didn't really pay attention to them. They weren't really trying to help out. And my dad's like, screw it, let's go. And literally went. Like, drove. He said, it's actually funny. There was a cop that pulled over some guy, and the guy was getting a ticket, and my dad like yells out to the cop, like, hey, like, woman in labor, like, help us. And so he like forgot the ticket. He's like, all right, man, you're good to go. And then escorts my dad and us to the hospital, and the guy that was getting the ticket like didn't get it, but he was like, thanks, man, like, so the cop like took us all the way to the hospital.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, so maybe that's where you got the traveling spirit from.
Man, I never thought about that, but yeah, maybe.
Right from the get-go.
This whole van thing is something you would have asked me 4 or 5 years ago, even I would have never, I don't know if I even would have wanted to do it. And it's something that it's, again, another challenge that I don't even think I can do it, but I'm so excited to try it and to just figure it out and just venture off and travel and just make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that knows me, it's funny. They're like, you're going to be traveling around in a van. Like, really? Like, I probably just started camping this year. Like, I don't really enjoy it. Like, I bought my first sleeping bag. So I have a funny story about that. My first sleeping bag, I got invited to Mammoth to go ride bikes.
Okay.
And it was like a couple friends. They're like, yeah, let's go camping. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, they always have a good setup and stuff. So I'm like, all right, sick. This is going to be so fun.
Right.
Long story short, we go riding at nighttime. We come back, everyone's setting up their tents, and like, I'm like trying to help where I can and set up a tent there, put like, the chairs out.
Yeah.
And then I knew I was sharing a tent with someone. So I was like, I was okay. And then that person, my friend that was in that tent with me, she's like, all right, Heather, we're blowing up, our sleeping pads. And whenever you're ready, just get your sleeping pad in there and then your sleeping bag. So when we're going to bed at nighttime, like, it won't be too hard. And I'm like, what? I'm like, sleeping bag and pad. I'm like, what do you mean? And then everyone's like, what do you mean? Like, you don't have one? And I was like, you guys invited me. I'm like, no. And they're like, oh my gosh, Heather, like, you're supposed to have these things. And I'm like, I was like, you guys invited me. I thought everything was set. Like, I didn't know I needed this. So it just comes to show, like, I don't really go camping that much. So this year really opened my eyes to all that.
You're just like, don't you know who I am?
No, like, it wasn't even like that. It was just like, I was like, you guys invited me and you guys have everything. Like, I didn't know. So the next day we went to one of those in Mammoth, like the mountain lodges or whatever that sells everything. And I mean, it was probably way expensive out there, but I ended up buying a pretty good pad and a sleeping bag that I've used so many times. Like, I love it. Now anybody can invite me and I'm ready.
You're ready to go. You got it.
I am good.
That's funny. Those things are expensive though, man. I know the pad
expensive.
The one I bought this one at REI that's like supposed to be a little thicker or something like that. And dude, I think it was like a couple $100, man.
Yeah, I walked out of that store with like two things and it was literally like $400. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And at night, I guess you have to kind of wear in the pad a little bit, but every movement, it was like one of the movie scenes that like I'm trying to sleep and everything you hear is like it's making the loudest noise of me moving on the pad. And like I just felt so embarrassed.
That's pretty funny.
Oh man.
Good time. So do you have your own tent now or?
No, I didn't really upgrade to my own tent. Maybe, like, but I honestly didn't need it. I was always like sleeping with like 2 or 3 other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did get a sleeping bag and pad, and those friends, if they're watching, they'll be proud of me.
So how do you go from not having a sleeping bag to buying a van?
I know, right? This is again, I don't know. It was just a big challenge, and I've always thought about it. And every time I would talk about it with friends, it's like, man, that's so cool. They're just in a van and they're traveling and riding. And I've always wanted to do it, but I never would have done it. Like I was always like, no way, like can't do it. But just I don't know, a couple months back, I was just like, you know what? This is the time. I'm gonna do it. Let's do it. And I looked for the van. It was pretty hard to find right now, but I ended up finding one 2 hours from my parents' house in Florida. And it just so happened, which we were lucky. I was like, Mom, Dad, like, can you guys go check it out, see if it's good? They went and they're like, yeah, this is exactly what you wanted. And so I flew back like 2 days, 3 days later, and I ended up buying it. It was perfect. So me and my dad are just building it out. I mean, we've watched so many YouTube videos on how to do it. And I'm just so thankful. My dad's doing everything, like literally every little, I'm over there just trying to pass a hammer or nail to him. Like I know he's just one of those guys that a big perfectionist and he just likes to do everything. And I'm there trying to help him, but I know he doesn't really want me to go cutting the wood or like do anything. So I'm just like, all right, Dad, like what else do we need? And he's stoked to say like, oh, get me the nails, or like, get me that hammer, or like, oh, get the drill. I'm like, all right.
You should make a video with your dad, like building in the van and you like sitting
just
on a
sitting
chair,
there.
like drinking a little drink with like an umbrella in it,
That's pretty much how it is. Like, I don't want it to be like that, but he makes it like that. And he's just the type of guy that loves to just do it himself.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with there.
But yeah, we've been doing everything. It's crazy. I would have never imagined doing the stuff that we did. I mean, we cut through a brand new van and like put windows in and the AC and stuff. Yeah.
So you got a brand new one then?
Yeah, brand new one. And
which one did you buy?
The Mercedes Sprinter. It's the 170 2500, so it's the big one.
Yeah, that's a real big one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not 4-wheel drive, and this is, I don't know. I talked to Kyle. Kyle actually convinced me that I don't need a 4-wheel drive one, and I was going back and forth, and it was so hard for me to find the van because I was just looking for, a all-wheel drive and everything. And I couldn't find it. And then I finally found this one and I was like, but do I get it? Like, is it going to be good? And he's like, I mean, how much snow are you going to be going in? I'm like, I'm probably not going to be chasing the winter, like snow. And he's like,
about Kyle Warner?
Kyle Straight.
Okay.
That's who I lived with, Kyle and Rachel.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense now.
Yeah.
I was trying to put the name together and I wasn't exactly, I was like, Kyle and Rachel. I'm trying to figure this out.
Do you know them? Kyle and Rachel Straight?
No,
Kyle's
I don't think I know them.
Red Bull Rampage, Rachel's Enduro.
I'll have to
Man, you gotta look them up.
Yeah. My buddies always make fun of me because I don't know anybody that races at all.
No wonder the whole conversation then you didn't yet you didn't know.
I was rolling with it. It's all right. I'm so used to it because the only people that I know that race I've met. You know what I mean? So it's
no, honestly, I feel like I'm like that too. It's unfortunate. I'll meet huge people in the sport. And I was like, then after they're like, oh my gosh, do you know who you just talked to? And I'm like, oh, they were awesome. I didn't know. And sometimes it's almost
me to Sam Pilgrim and I didn't know who he was. I was like, hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? Whatever.
It's almost better like that though, because then you're not like fanning or anything. It's cool. You're friends with them. And that's how I met Kyle and Rachel. And I moved into their house not really knowing who they were. And after a month, I'm like, dang, Kyle's pretty big deal. I'm like, this guy. And to me, he's like my friend. He's a family now. It's so awesome. I'm like, shoot. So
it's super funny.
What were we saying about the van? I forgot.
I don't know. I think we were talking about what model it was that you had.
Oh yeah. So it's the Benz 170. It's the bigger one.
You were talking about the 4-wheel drive. That's what it was.
Yeah, the 4-wheel drive. So he was telling me, he's like, man, I have friends that went out to Rampage with I think a 2-wheel drive, and we were fine, got through it. And then in reality, how much off-roading am I going to want to do with the van? It's pretty much my house in there. So so I ended up thinking all right, I think I'll be fine.
I've been going back and forth on buying a van. I'm kind of where you are, but not ready to just jump into the fire so quickly.
Yeah.
And
I feel like you have to. It's one of those things, if you think too much, I thought about it for years.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm just trying to, I don't know. But anyways, I do go back and forth on that 4-wheel drive thing a lot because I live in Northern California. It's going up to Tahoe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's I could see that happening a lot, and I could see me using it in the winter or driving that way. And I know putting chains on is such a pain in the ass. And so it's I've been really looking at that Ford Transit because it's all-wheel drive.
Okay. Yeah. You know, there's a new one, I think it might be 2021 or 2022, and it's super nice, super good. I think there's something really different about it versus the older ones.
Yeah.
But, or maybe it was electric or something.
I think they have an electric one too that they just came out with. But I think the thing that changed with the 2020 or something like that was that it went all-wheel drive.
Oh,
and that was standard. So it was
maybe that's what it was.
For the price, compared to getting the 4-wheel drive of any other one, it was oh wow, that's not really that bad of a price difference.
Yeah.
So you went with the 172, and that's the other thing. I keep thinking I want the shorter one.
So if I only got it, and it probably makes sense because I'm putting a shower in it inside.
Yeah,
in the I think it's 144. It's tight. It's really tight with it. So if you don't go with the shower, I feel like you can easily, it'll be spacious with the smaller one. But if you want to put
thinking about the shower too, and that's another one where it's back and forth on it because so many of the YouTubers that I've watched, even the van lifers that not mountain bikers, they all say that they put this bathroom in and then they never use it.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have a toilet. I don't know. probably not going to use it as much as I think I am, but the security of having a shower there and everything, I just feel great about. Like after riding, just to kind of rinse off quickly and not have to be outside and stuff, I think I'll be stoked with it. For now, I'm good. I'm going back and forth with the all-wheel drive and the two-wheel drive, but I can't do anything about it now.
I with the shower thing, I agree with you. I feel the same way, and it's like
just a quick rinse or something.
Yeah. And some people are like, oh, well, you could do it out the back or whatever. And like,
but what if it's like cold?
Yeah. Right. Or what if it's windy and you're like standing there and you're like your little curtain thing that you got
just flying away.
Exactly. You know, man. Oh,
I'll have a shower in the back too, just in case. And a friend gave me one of those. It's like a tent that like pops up, and you can like put the shower head on the top. I'll have one of those too. But for the most part, I mean, just the comfort of being inside. I'm gonna be in it for quite a bit. Like I'm gonna do like big trips, and I'm pretty much gonna live in it for like a majority of the year.
I've seen a bunch of people do like they'll build the shower and then they'll have it so that you can like put shelves in it. So they use it like a closet basically, and then if you want to take a shower, then you just take your couple of shelves out and you're good to go.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good idea. I'd probably be lazy to take the shelves out and everything all the time. I don't know. It would just be a lot of work. Right now I'm debating on, which these are just little things, but you realize that after it's to have the stove top either built into the counter, or we were thinking of just kind of putting it below. It's in like a little drawer and then putting it out every time. And that's what I'm like, the other day I'm like, Dad, I think we need to build it on the top. Like I don't want to have to keep taking it on and off.
I think I would that would be the way I would lean.
To build it on top of the
either build it on top or like some like where you'll see some people like say it's butcher block, they'll like cut it out and then you can like put the butcher block on top of it so that it's like just one countertop. Or you could lift it up and then the stove is there or something. There's like so that many too.
Things. That's actually a great idea. I was thinking of that to have a little cutting board that I can take on and off from the sink.
Yeah, I see that on the sink a lot
that
too.
Would be cool.
Yeah, because then you get that counter space though too. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't really have a whole lot of counter space. Yeah, for me, the 170 is like, it's nice. I went and saw one of my buddies and I was like, man, this is like a lot of room in there. Like it doesn't feel huge. So like crammed, you know?
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, it's like the smaller ones, like you can like park them so much easier places. And like,
it is true.
It's hard to, it's really tough. I think for me, maybe it's not like the last van I would buy, you know what I mean? But I think I'm going to start with the smaller one and then actually
I think that's great. The smaller one works out great, I think.
Yeah.
Even if you put a shower, it'll just be a little tight, but it'll be good.
I've seen it like where like a lot of people are like, if they're like full on living in it, right? They want to have like a desk space and all this and that. And it's like for me, like I could put the shower in there. I really need the shower, the bed, and the cook space.
Yeah.
Like I don't really care about like I'm not like going to be like that's not
working.
I'm not going to be like single track sampler. You know what I mean? Like living like straight up living in the van. You know, so it's like whatever. If I need to like use my laptop, I can lean against on the bed for a while or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm trying to make it like next to the shower. I'm going to make a little bench, and then that one's going to have like a swivel table to come out. And then that's where I'll work from. Because I'm thinking I might be on the road for a while. So
100%.
Just in case. But I think the smaller one's perfect. And you're totally right on parking. We go to like Home Depot a lot, and we have to be in the last like row, and the butt of the van just sticks out so much. Like it's in the way to get through.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Definitely like
it's huge.
But hey, have you ever driven anything that big before?
So right before buying it, I drove with Kenda Tires, one of my sponsors. We drove out to from California to Nationals to Colorado, and he had me drive the van. And I mean, it was the same wheelbase. It was the big one too. So that was like the first time I ever drove a van that big, and it was on the highway. It's kind of sketchy. It's like really scary because the wind will just start taking you and you just kind of feel like you're going back. And then parking is I think I asked him hey, we need to trade seats for you to park this car. And then another time we ended up going to a friend's house, and I had to make she was it's like a small neighborhood, and I needed to like turn around in there, and he's like, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to do it. I'm like, okay, like I'm going to try. So I pulled into the driveway in front of us, and anyways, he was right. I couldn't do it. I should have just went all the way out and turned around.
Yeah.
I was just being stubborn.
Yeah. The first time I ever drove a van, I had a job that had like, like a regular work van kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was straight up like you. Like, I remember like the first like 3 months of driving it, it was just like I only would go to parking spaces that I could like drive straight into because that didn't even have like windows or anything in the back.
Mine doesn't have back windows.
Just mirrors and that's it, you know. So it took me a while, and now it's after a while, then it was like, yeah, I could drive that thing backwards at like 30 miles an hour, like it didn't even matter. But
it's about getting used to, right? I mean,
yeah. And then you get to like you're able to like judge the distance in your mirrors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where like it's just like anything, the more you do it, the better you get, right?
Yeah. We're also, another debate is because mine doesn't have any windows. We just put like right where the bed goes, the little like skinny bunker windows. But everyone's telling me to put a window by where the sliding door is, just because it's like a huge blind spot to like look to the side. And we're debating on it, but I don't know. I just don't want a lot of windows I just don't want it to anybody break in or something.
Yeah,
easier.
like safety wise.
Yeah, safety wise.
But feel like it, like think about this. Like if somebody's gonna break a window to get in there, like you still have windows in the front, like
yeah,
what I mean? Like
I probably should just do the window.
yeah. It's probably more worth it than like
I'm over here thinking I shouldn't. I got a whole windshield and side of the front windows. You're right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like some things like in life like that, like always kind of make me laugh. Like,
yeah.
Like somebody like for instance.
Well, now you just made me laugh every time I tell people that. It makes no sense, really.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, it'll be like somebody will have like a glass door on the back of their house and like 3 deadbolts on it. It's like, dude, like who cares about the deadbolt? Like somebody just kick the damn thing and walk right through it,
Yeah. Oh, that's totally right. Now I feel silly.
Oh, it's all right. I'm sure plenty of other people feel the same way. So I wouldn't
well, now maybe I really should. I'm gonna go order the window right now. Probably should get it.
Yeah, we just solved this problem. See, we can talk long enough. We'll just look at it all squared away.
The van's gonna be all set up.
I feel like no matter what decisions that you make, like 6 months after you have it, you're gonna be like
things are gonna be changing. I know, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying really hard to like think about it and be like, am I gonna be happy with this or not? Like, but either way, probably 6 months from now, I'll be like, we shouldn't have done it. My dad wants to build another one just because he loves this stuff. Yeah, and he's like, I would have never done it this way. I'm not going to build it this way. And I'm like, Dad, but mine is like this. Like, what do you mean? And he's like, no, I'm just, he's just like, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't use that. Totally different. I'm like, all right, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, right. But I think, and that's the thing, that's like, once you do it, you're going to have opinions on all kinds of stuff.
YouTube, I mean, everybody's different. Everyone says like how to do it. And like, my dad, again, he's the type of person that he sees it and he'll just improvise it so much and change it. Like, and I'm like, Dad, you're not the only one that's doing this. Like, everyone's done it already. Like, let's just do it the way that's supposed to be. And he's like, no, we're doing it this way. So everything's been changed. I mean, it's crazy. It is a mission working with him.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's just like you said, though, there's so many people that are just doing so many different things. Like, every time that you feel like you've seen it all, like in the van videos, like you'll click on somebody else's and
and then my mind's blown and I'm like
totally different. You're like, oh my God, I didn't even think you could put the bed in there. And then holy shit, it's like,
exactly. That's so true. So many things. I mean, if I sit there and really think, like watch videos after it, I'm like, man, I like that idea. I like that. It changes every time. The layout of it's been changing all the time.
So you're kind of doing like the bed in the back with like the garage kind of underneath it for bikes.
So the garage underneath the bed, right next. So the door side is going to have the kitchen area, the sink, the refrigerator, and the stovetop. And then on the other side is going to be the shower. And then, so like right in front of where the door opens, I wanted that seat so I can work from there with the table. And look out into the view.
Yeah, that would be rad.
and then we got
And then
swivels
through your window,
that
when
I
it's
could
cold
have
out,
my
you'll be able to
window.
look right out your window.
Man, I think the window's the way to go. I think I might do it. But yeah, it does make sense. The blind spot, it would make sense. It is so hard to see in that van.
Yeah. I would imagine though, like as far as driving goes, like looking over your shoulder to look over there will be something that you don't like. Like if you didn't have a window,
so I shouldn't get it.
I'm just saying, if you didn't get the video, it's not going to kill you. But I would buy the window. I would definitely.
We'll see how it goes. I feel like it's also a good spot. It'll just take up a little bit of space on that door, so we don't have to build more to it or add stuff. I don't know.
Right?
Anything I can just not build, I'm like happy about it.
Yeah.
There's just so much. There's also another thing that we were thinking above the bed. If we should have two, like both sides with cabinets, and I feel like it'll be too crammed in there above the bed.
I would feel a little claustrophobic.
So we're doing one side, which is the shower side, and then the other side I'm gonna have like a super little skinny, like maybe just a little cubby that I can like put stuff in, but not a whole
I'm putting money on your shower ends up having a bunch of stuff in there. It's gonna be like a closet. It's just gonna have like a basket full of shit. Like, you're gonna have like a Santa Claus bag full of stuff. You're gonna have to unload all this stuff.
I know. I'm actually avoiding there's like that there's the storage space above the driver's seat too.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
Yeah,
so everyone, there's a lot of people that say, yes, it's amazing, get it. And then some people are like, nah, you don't even need it. And I just love the luxury of being able to just walk right into that area, sit down in the passenger seat, get out whenever I want. Like, it's just so much more open and convenient. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll regret it in the end.
I mean, who knows? I think it probably comes down to storage. I mean, it depends on like.
We're putting a lot of storage in there. Like next to the shower, I have a full like closet, like long ways that I can even hang things, or I'm just going to have to fold everything really good.
Yeah. Or just like, I don't know, buy new shit all the time. Just go thrifting all the time. You just buy like another pound of clothes, and then next city, go get some more.
That'd be kind of cool.
Right?
Oh, man.
That's pretty funny. So how tall are you?
5'3".
5'3", so you can sleep sideways then.
I think I'll be fine anyway.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like for me, like I even like that's one of the downsides. I'm 6'2".
Oh boy.
So like
it's like my brother-in-law. He's pretty tall, and he's able to go in the shower, but he has to slouch down a little bit. And in the van, he's able to just stand, but his head is like on the roof,
millimeters away from the top. Yeah, I've seen some guys that are my height with the van that I was talking about getting, and they're like, some of them have like built it like in a way that they like maximized every like inch or millimeter space side to side, and they'll be like have to lay a little bit at it like an angle to sleep sideways. But I don't know, man. I think I'll just do it the other way.
Yeah. I mean, you can just lay like back to front that way. But
But then it's like cutting down on, like if I was getting the shorter one, then you're really cutting down on your, like your space. So
you don't
I don't know, man. These are the things that I spend like 4 hours researching, and then I still don't have a van. I've been doing this for like 2 years. It's like
you're gonna just keep going back and forth. That's why I'm saying you gotta just do it.
I just need to pull the trigger one of these days. So
man, that's exciting. Well, if you get it, we'll meet up somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Where are you planning on going?
So if I can hit every 50 states, I'm gonna do that. That's the
goal for this year.
Yeah, that's the goal. But so I'm gonna try and leave sometime in January, whenever the van's done, pretty much. But it's at its ends. So hopefully end of January or mid-January. I'm just gonna go straight out. I think on the way out, because everything is snowing, so I'm kind of just mapping it out to maybe hit something in North Carolina, maybe in Georgia. I definitely want to do Spider Mountain when I go through Texas, and then from there,
is super fun.
Really, have you ridden?
Yeah, I have been there, and you know how I was telling you I only know like pro riders that I've met. I know Andrew Taylor. He's another Rampage guy.
Okay.
And
Cool. Man, you know the Rampage guys. How do you not know Kyle?
yeah, right. And anyways, so I went to Texas to visit No Front Brakes, who's actually in the chat right now. And he took me over there to Spider Mountain. And while I was in Spider Mountain, I looked over and I noticed my buddy's freaking van. And I was like, dude, he like banged on his door and he like opened it up, like, what's up, YouTube? And he's like, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
Yeah. But that place is really rad. I was surprised, like for it's like 350 feet elevation loss or something like
So
that.
is it pretty like, I mean, some good downhill stuff? Like
It's
what
fun.
what
Yeah,
kind
there's
is
lots
it?
of fun. Huh?
Okay. Does it have like jumps and trail? Like what is it like? Does it have a little bit of everything?
It had a little bit of everything. It had some
Okay.
like, more of the like technical kind of
Equivalent to what would you say?
It's really hard for me to say because I don't really ride park. So but I can tell you, like, honestly, like, you'll have a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
everywhere it's
yeah. I mean,
just ride.
Yeah, you just go ride and you have fun. And I think the thing that like was the most surprising to me was that, I mean, I'm coming from California where, we ride downhill for like miles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, Downeyville is 14 miles of downhill. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like going there and I'm like 350 feet. I'm like, that's not even half of the first climb that I do on almost any ride around here. You know, it's not even like, it's like nothing. So I really went thinking that it wasn't going to be as good as it actually was. Yeah. So I was like pleasantly surprised. Like they really did a good job building there, and it's cool. It's So
I don't know what to expect or anything. So I'm pretty excited to just go out there. I mean, everyone says it's good so far. So
yeah. No, I had a blast.
Definitely one of the spots. I mean, it makes sense. I'm going to be going right through there, so I'll go there. But I think during winter, I'll probably just stay out in California. Unfortunately, I haven't ridden like Santa Cruz, and there's so many trails in Santa Barbara that I want to do. I mean, go up north, even in like Orange County, there's just so many more trails. I've been living out there for about a year, and there's just endless amount of trails, even Big Bear. So I think I'll be pretty good just spending a couple months out there maybe and just venturing off. I can't wait to go to Washington and ride those places. I've heard Oregon has so many incredible places. And I'm going to spend some time in Colorado as well. I have a few friends out there. So I want to try and ride everything out there. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, just try and hit every 50 states.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine. So are you racing this year too, or?
So I'm going to try and race the downhill series, the national. I'll probably, once that schedule's out, it'll give me a better idea of where I can go. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I want to focus on this tour. It's going to be big, and I just want to kind of put a lot into it.
So financially, like you're doing that like with just YouTube, or your sponsors are still like
my sponsors are still working with me, and they're pretty stoked. I mean, the ones that are gonna be with me for next year are pretty excited about the tour. And yeah, it's gonna be big. Hopefully, just kind of ride everywhere. Yeah. And downhill, I'll still be racing that, and a couple local races. Hopefully, just in California, do like the Big Bear and stuff like that. Sea Otter for sure.
Yeah, I've never ridden the courses there. Like every time I go to Sea Otter, I'm like, why would I want to ride here? Like Santa Cruz is right over there.
Yeah, and that's so funny. I would go there all the time, and people would always go to Santa Cruz after and ride, and I just never did. My ex actually was from Santa Cruz, and I mean, we didn't really get to ride every time we went. We just kind of visited family or whatever. But
that's funny.
I definitely want to go back and just ride.
Yeah, I've never even taken. I don't think I've even taken my bike to Sea Otter when I've been. I don't think I've ever even gone with a bike because I'm just like, I'm just like, these trails are here, like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Sea Otter's great, it's so fun, but I mean, the downhill course is just super flowy, and I mean, there's like maybe a pebble on there. It's not really that bad.
Yeah, I'll have to take a bike. Maybe next year I'll take a bike.
They're so fun. The enduro courses are like super fun, very pedally, but I mean, they're flowy, and the downhill course is so fun. It's just it's not like your regular like downhill, chunky and all that stuff.
No chunk and gnar,
But it's super fun and flowy.
Yeah. I've ridden in that area before. It was like Fort Ord, I think is what that is there, like where that's built. But And it was just like a bunch of poison oak and like sandy kind of trails. I was just like, this is horrible. I don't want to do this again.
Do you get poison oak pretty bad?
Oh God. Like I'm probably getting it just from us talking about it.
Oh, yeah. So I thankfully I haven't gotten it, or maybe I've gotten it, I didn't even know. But Rachel used to come back from races or just anywhere, and she would always have it. Like, just even if she probably walked past it, she'd probably get it. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's basically me. I go through this process of like I'll get it really bad, and then because I got it so bad, then I'm like a Nazi about like cleaning myself, like tech new wipes and all this stuff, like on the trail and the shower using dish soap and all this other stuff. And then I'll do that until I start getting lazy, because I'm like, oh dude, I don't get poison oak anymore.
And then you get it.
And then,
and then the cycle just goes on.
So this year I got it pretty bad, like a couple of times. And
how do you get it? Just literally going on the trail and it just kind of brushes you a little bit? Or
yeah, basically. Like the last time that I got it really bad just recently was like we were riding this trail and there was like a branch down over the trail. So my buddy like stopped and he was like and it was like a trail where you're just like hauling balls, right? So we're like almost like ran each other over because he stopped to not like wipe out on this tree branch, right? So he's like moving that tree branch, and as he was doing that, there was like some other kind of branch or something like that, and I was like, I'll just snap this one out of the way and chuck it. And when I snapped it, like there's all these like sticks that have like no leaves on them, and I just looked at them and I was like, I bet you that's poison oak. And because you can get it even if like there's no leaves, like just from the branches. And I was like, whatever, I'll remember to like wipe myself off or whatever when I'm done. And
but isn't it on your gloves and stuff? Like, wouldn't it stay?
Yeah. So like that's basically what happened. We finished the ride and I totally forgot that.
What if you touch your face?
Yeah, I had it all over it, but it was like really bad on my arms, like really, really bad. Like, because I had pads on, unfortunately. And so, but like, oh God, it took
how long does it last?
It depends on how bad you get it. And I think like on you personally, but like that took like, oh man, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks for it to like go away. It was like really bad. Like I looked like some kind of like cancer survivor. I don't know, I don't know, like a leper. Like I felt like, oh God, it was so disgusting looking.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I felt like people were like, what is wrong with that guy's arm? It's like growing something off of it.
That reminds me of this year, recently at Highline, and when we went to the Sedona Fest with the cactus. Yeah. I would have thought, that those things happen.
Tell the story for people that haven't seen the video.
It's like those things happen in the movies and everything, and here we are. Yeah, I mean, so we were riding, climbing up to Highline. Alan was behind, so it was Paul, me, and then Katie, my friend Katie, and then Alan behind her, and we were climbing up, and Paul and I were just talking, and we were just in our own world. Paul, he went to go do something and he had to like put a foot down, and then he pedaled. But when he was pedaling, he literally must have did like 4 cranks and then just got away from us. And in that moment, like in that second when he just kept riding, I just heard Alan say like, oh shit, or something. And I was like, what happened? I heard something. I look back, I see Katie. Seriously, the cactus saved her life, because she would have just went straight down. So she was stuck sideways, fully clipped in, everything. Like she could not move. And if she did, she'd probably fall. Yeah. So then we ran to her and we're like, all right, what do we do? We're just like, we grabbed her. We were kind of moving her like this.
Yeah, I know. At one point you're like, can you want to like clip out? Because she's like kind of hanging upside down.
Oh yeah. And then she's like, that's a good idea.
Like move her leg. And they're like, no, you're going to like, no, that hurts.
Exactly. So we're like, I'm like, maybe let's clip, like, let's get your foot out. And she's like, no. And then she's like, all right, maybe that's not a bad idea. Let's try it. So then we try it. And then it's like, no. Like it's digging into me more. And I'm like, oh gosh. After, like, I didn't even realize we were, I guess, in the adrenaline and everything. Like I had it in my arms. We had it on our shins and stuff. We just had to like pull them all out. But I mean, she had them all over her butt. Like it was pretty bad. Classic. We had to like really pick it out. And I know there was like 4 or 5 still left in there. And I was like, I didn't know how to get it.
Yeah. I've seen some pictures before of other people like
I didn't
standing on the
know.
side of the trail, like picking cactus out of their
Yeah.
buddy's rear end because they fell into something. So
I've seen so many of those, and I always laugh, and I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." Like that probably will never happen, whatever. But
yeah,
it happened.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
my those things are freaking nasty too, man. My lady was riding Brewers with me a couple years ago,
Oh,
and
Brewers
she
is
like
so
put a foot
fun.
down, and it like went right through her shoe, and she was wearing like SPD kind of like
Wow,
clip-in leather shoes, and it just like right through. I was like, holy
that's
crap, man.
crazy. Yeah, we were
Yeah,
trying to pull them out, and when we were pulling them out, they would like kind of break. I was like, "Oh
yeah,
no, it's gonna
yeah,
be in there for a while." And it was the beginning, and we've got to say she was a trooper because I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have been bummed the whole way and like just been like, "Man, my butt like
yeah.
hurting." But she sucked it up, and we kept climbing, and then did Highline, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, for people that didn't see the video, I mean, they're like not like on the back part of her butt, like they were like all the way up in where your saddle was like sitting, like
They were
like they
in
were
her
like
crack.
yeah, they were everywhere, man. And it was,
We
I think
actually
if I was, I probably would have like took the chamois off and
So we
just wore
did.
the regular shorts.
We didn't film that, but
Okay.
we had to go like up a little higher into the bushes, and she
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
pull it down, and I
yeah.
had to like pick them out, and it was like we just went from another level right here.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yeah. You're
man.
like, we're that kind of friends now.
Yeah, yep. That's exactly what we are.
That's funny. We were having a conversation just the other day about ticks, and it was
Oh,
like, and
ticks.
somebody was
I'm
saying
so
something
scared of
about that.
ticks.
And I was like, dude, you've never had freaking to take your pants down next to your buddy and ask him to look in your butt so you can make sure you don't have any ticks, dude. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, believe me, you finish a ride and you see like 3 of those things walking up your leg, you're like
Oh my
paranoid,
gosh.
man.
I get so freaked out. I saw one once, and I was in
Yeah,
New Jersey actually, and I think it was like on my stomach, and I was like
yeah.
freaked out because I'm like, how did it get on my stomach? Like,
Hmm.
and if I didn't even see it, or what if
Yeah,
I just went on with the day? Not, oh, I was so
yeah,
freaked
yeah,
out. And then now, like I always try and check and stuff, but I mean, you
yeah.
never know.
I always
Things,
forget about them. I totally forget about
I
like the
honestly
weird
don't really
things.
think of them either, but
Yeah,
when I do, I'm just like, oh gosh.
yeah. But once I see one on me, then it's like, oh my God, you're just like things crawling. You feel like everything's
Yeah.
crawling on you then. You know what I mean? It's just like complete meltdown. So
They're
I
pretty much in, like, woodsy area. I mean, are they
yeah.
in California? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
guess
we have
they
them up
are
here. We definitely
everywhere.
have them up here, yeah. I mean, I grew up in Pennsylvania. We had a boatload of them back there. That was pretty common. And out here, yeah, I mean they're all over. So I mean, I'll have to pull them off the dog sometimes and
Yeah.
but yeah. Yeah,
What
those
kinda
things
dog
are
do you have?
I have a red lab.
Oh my
So
gosh, I am dying to get a chocolate lab.
oh yeah?
I want a
Uh,
chocolate lab so bad, like, that would be my dream. So Kyle and Rachel, Kyle had a dog has a
yeah,
dog, Frankie, and he's a
yeah.
chocolate lab, and I just fell in love with him. Like, I never lived
Labs are the
with one
best.
until then, and it was so cool. Like, they're
Yeah,
just so cute and
yeah.
cuddly, and I don't
Labs are
know.
just really good people dogs. I mean, they're
Yeah.
just really like they just have such a great like personality and they're like super low like maintenance kind of dogs. They're not like dogs you have to worry about like being snippy with people or you know what I mean. They're just like super
Yeah.
chill dogs and they just
I
have
feel
great
like
like drive.
Frankie was just goofy and
Yeah, yeah,
funny.
that's how they are. Yeah, yeah,
He just loves food and just
yeah,
very goofy.
yeah, yeah. Then
Oh,
then I like that they like water too. So like
yeah,
I
they
like to
do.
go to the river a lot and the lake and stuff like that. So he's like he loves the water.
That's
So
so cool.
yeah,
That's
it
another
sounds like
thing. If I wanna get a dog, but I don't know if I should.
yeah. Yeah, lab would be a lot of dog in a van, but
I
I wouldn't
know.
say that you couldn't do it, you know what I mean? It's
And they
just,
shed a lot.
yeah, they do. But if you got like a labradoodle, so
I
that's
know,
like
but I think they're too cute to, like, have on the trails, right? Like,
a
I feel
labradoodle?
like yeah, they're, like, just so cute, and, like, I just feel like I don't know, the trail would just, be too
It's the
much for
same kind
them.
of dog, man, and poodles are bird dogs too, like, I mean,
Really?
they're yeah, yeah, so they're, I think, you know, yeah, you can make them all prim and manicured or whatever, but I mean, but
Honestly, if they can be good trail dogs, I would consider it.
yeah,
Like
the only thing with the big
Labradoodle?
dogs like that is like you have to really work them up to mileage,
Yeah.
and usually they don't. I don't know, like maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but a lot of them they won't get like, you won't be able to get the mileage out of them that you would be able to get out of a dog like a
the Aussies.
Australian Shepherd or something like that. You know what I mean? Like those
Yeah.
dogs can just run all day long, like nonstop. But I know with mine, like if I'm running him, I gotta like work him up to it. We've
Can you take him on the trails?
Yeah. He's just
I hear like their hips aren't good or something. Is that true? Like they might have bad hips, but maybe that's when they grow up.
It could be like, I mean, that's something that there's a lot of dogs that have those problems though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's why you get a good breeder. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's like having a kid. I mean, you don't know what you have until you have it, right? You know what I mean? So, like, and then you deal with it, right? So like, it is what it is. But if you get it from a good breeder, at least that's my perspective. Some people don't like to get dogs from breeders, but I don't know. I feel like there's something that you're paying for there, you know. And like my dog came from like a really long line of like hunting dogs, and so like his bloodline's good, you know what I mean? And he's freaking fast, man. Like
it's honestly, a red lab.
Yeah, apparently I didn't even know they were
red labs.
Yeah, I didn't know they had red labs until my lady was like, she wanted one, and I looked it up, and apparently like that's the color that labs were originally. And like the black and the white and like the chocolate is what they like bred because that's what people wanted. But he's got like a really dark red coat. So
I'm gonna have to look them up.
Yeah. He's pretty. I'll send you a picture whenever.
Okay. Yeah, labs. I just love labs. I mean, and then the chocolate ones are just so cute.
Yeah, they are really cute. I definitely give you that. And I've had a white one before, and then now I have this red one. So. And both the labs that I've had have just been like really good dogs. I've rode bikes with both of them. They're you know, they're super smart, and like my other one, this one I have like kind of knowing right and left, but like my other one, like I could just call out right and left as we were like cooking down the trail, and he would like know which way to go and everything. Which is pretty rad. Yeah.
I just a well-behaved, like trained dog. Like that would be so cool. It'll be like my best friend out on the trails and just hanging out, and just a companion. That'd be awesome. But I feel like I have to live the van life for a little bit and then see if I can. I know it'll be like such a big responsibility too, and I'd probably be riding and worry about him. Yeah,
it would feel like man, maybe it would be easier to have a puppy at home and kind of get him like started on training.
Because you can't run them too much when they're puppies, right?
No, you're supposed to wait till like at least like a year old, I think, to like let them develop well. Otherwise, you can kind of like maybe mess up their hips or something like that. Yeah. So, but after that, I mean, they'll have dry. I mean, my dog, my lab will run his pads right off his feet.
Really? I hear labs don't know when to stop. Like they'll just keep running.
He won't stop. Yeah, he won't stop at all.
It's so wild.
Yeah, he's freaking crazy. I was riding with him like 2 weeks ago, and like I can't like I have to like trick him if I want to get out in front of him. You know, because like when we're all just standing, like once I start pedaling, he just takes off, right? And he can get faster. He can start faster than me, right? Yeah. So I have to like then like wait till there's a wide spot or something like that to try to get around him, right? And and so he like ran over the top of this berm because he like didn't realize the trail was turning, and I like whipped the corner, and I was like, sweet, I'm gone. And he like is yelping and like he's like angry, like pissed off at the world that I'm in front of him, and I can hear him like right at my back tire, and I'm like laughing and like,
that's so awesome.
Yeah, he was
like that kind of stuff. I mean, it's like your best friend just going out to ride every day with you. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, it sounded like somebody was choking him. Like he was so pissed that I was in front of him.
He's like competitive.
Yeah, he is. So like went around this one corner, and he was like giving it everything he had, I think, trying to catch me. After a while I like stopped, and I looked, he was like 2 like switchbacks up from me, and he just like laid down in the bushes. He's like, I can't do it anymore.
That's so cool.
That's it.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So that was pretty fun. That's definitely a good time. Do you have a name picked out?
No,
you gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know. They're kind of weird names.
Yeah, whatever, man.
I feel like maybe when I see him, I'll like a name will just come up.
I feel like if you pick one out ahead of time, like once you get the dog, then you're like, no, this it needs to be this something else, because it needs to like fit or something,
Yeah.
So
Would you have preferred a boy or a girl dog, or it didn't matter?
I don't think it really matters. Like, I think, well, both the ones that I've had have been males, and actually both times I wanted a female, and both times I ended up with male. And like,
Well, that's
like,
good.
yeah, I don't know how that happened, but like, well, the last time we wanted to get I think we wanted to get a female, and we got to the breeder, and like Rudy, that's the one we have. He was like the last one, and instead of like just going to another breeder, and like my lady was like, "Oh my
Just
god, he's so cute,"
fell in
and
love
I was
with
like,
him.
I knew as soon as she like touched him that like it was over. Like, there's no way.
I
Like,
think
unless
that's
he's
what
missing a
happened.
leg, we're getting this dog.
That's
So,
so cute.
yeah.
How
So
old is he?
he is like 5 right now. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. So
Cool.
labs take a couple of years to be good dogs. I'll tell you that. Like, they
Is he
have to
just
be.
bad? Like, will he
No,
just?
they're just like so much energy when they're puppies, and they're just like,
Yeah.
"Wah!" So like once they like 3 years old, they like start to chill a little more, and then it's like, oh, this
Dang,
dog's so
3
rad.
years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I mean, it's not like they're bad for 3 years, but they're
Yeah.
definitely like the first couple of years is way more work than he is now. He's just like,
Yeah.
but I mean, having a puppy is I think it's fun. They always they if they weren't so cute, you would like murder them. You know what I mean? But
It's like having a baby. I mean, when they
Right.
do something crazy, it's like,
Right.
what are you doing? But I
Right.
mean, out of
But at
love.
the end of the day, like that, like all the things that you would want to murder them over are like the stories that you tell later that just like back you up, like Rudy would just like, he would like hold his bladder forever, like a
Aw.
toddler.
Yeah.
Right. And Katie would work upstairs. She works from home. So he would just like the last second, like realize like, oh shit, I need to go to the bathroom like right now. And then he would like run from upstairs all the way through the house, down the stairs, through the house, out the back door where he had a dog door, right? Except for he was peeing the whole way.
You would wait till the last minute.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
then you would
God.
have to like clean up like 50 yards of pee every time.
By the time he got outside, he was probably done.
Right? Yeah, go out there and pee for a second, come right back in. And he'd be all happy and like walking right through everything that he just like, there was like tile in the kitchen. He'd be like, just
That's actually so funny.
like, no, just stop.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
How did he learn to just go a little bit before?
I don't know. It took patience, I think, and like you just have to stay on top of him too and take him to the bathroom.
How do you get mad at that too? Because he's going, he's trying to go.
Yeah. No, he's doing the right thing.
You're just waiting too long.
So, yeah, he's pretty funny. He's like the most vocal dog I've ever had, though. Like,
really? Just barks?
well, not so much barking, but like he like grumbles and moans about shit. Like if you like say he walks over to you and like he's got his toy in his mouth and you won't like grab it from him, he'll be like and walk away like he's a person. Like it's pretty funny. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, looks like a good dog. Red Lab.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah. He's a riot. So, but so tell me about the racing career. Like, how did that like kind of fall into place then?
Well, I started racing that one big mountain enduro. I did the amateur for about like 2 or 3 years, and then I was just really kind of doing well in those classes, and the big mountain enduro I was doing well, and that series is pretty hard. I don't know. I just felt like maybe I should just take the next step, challenge myself with something more. And kind of went pro, and that year of the downhill series, well, I actually was racing enduro, and then I was friends with Aaron. Aaron Gwynn took me to my first downhill race, and we went to Fontana. I raced it on my enduro bike, and he's like, "Man, we got to get you a downhill bike." And after I saw that I don't have to climb and I can just go downhill, I was like, "Whoa, this is incredible." So I got a downhill bike that year, and I started racing the Pro GRTs, which is the national series for downhill, and I loved it. And was doing well there, and then I just started from.
So
that,
who were you
pretty much.
sponsored with at that point?
Airborne, and then I had just signed with Live.
Uh-huh.
That was like 3-4 years ago.
So
I did Airborne. I was with them for about 2-3 years, maybe. Maybe, yeah.
So then you left Airborne and then started with Live then at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're that's Giant, right? It's like
so my downhill bike is a Giant.
Yeah.
But everything else is a Live.
Yeah. How have you enjoyed being like working with them?
Oh, they're awesome. I mean, it's very women inspired too. Live is a women specific bike, and they have actual women that create the bike, work on the geometry, really cater it to women, and their whole story and everything is just very inspiring. What they do, it's cool. It's not many companies are like that, and I've really enjoyed it. Everyone there is also really awesome. Yeah, have you gone out to Sky Park, Santa's Village, for
I haven't been
any
there
like
yet.
demo days and stuff?
No, I'd like to go down to that. I for whatever reason, Southern California is like just out of my like.
So where do you live?
I live in Sacramento, so I'm like up closer to Tahoe and like stuff like San Jose and Santa Cruz, stuff like that. So for whatever reason, I just never go there. Like I've driven to Sedona. It's 12 hours. Like I had to drive through Southern California.
You drive past it.
Right? You know what I mean? But I just never like, I don't go down there. And I told Tony from Outdoor, oh man, I'm gonna screw up his channel right now. Outdoor MTB. I don't know. Outsider. That's it. The Outsider MTV. He's down in Southern California, and he was up here visiting not too long ago. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to make a trip this winter. Like, I promise I'm going to come down there. Because every year I go to I go up to Oregon and ride up there. Or like, so I drive like farther than that. But for whatever reason, I'm just like.
So you're closer to North Star than like Big Bear, right?
Yeah. North Star is only like an hour and a half from me.
Oh, so lucky.
Like right
I just went out there closing weekend.
Yeah, I saw you were in the area, yeah.
And it was so much fun. Like that place is cool. It's got everything. Yeah. And Tahoe is just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
If I could buy a house, I would buy it out there.
Yeah. There's a lot of great trails up there. Unfortunately, a bunch of that stuff in the Tahoe area got burned this summer, but such is life.
What about near you? Like, is there really good riding by you?
Yeah, I mean, I ride all that stuff in Tahoe pretty much all summer, and then right by me, there's some pretty fun stuff. Like to like,
I gotta come up with the van. And you have to take me out.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you come around the area, like 100%. Yeah, I'd definitely show you around. There's a lot of fun stuff. You know, it's like when people are coming from other states to come visit, I always tell them to come in the summer because then we can go to Tahoe because it's like it's like epic. You know what I mean? Like when you're standing on top of like a 9,000 foot mountain looking at the lake and like you're like, this is fucking mountain biking.
Beautiful.
You know?
And everywhere you go out there, like everywhere you ride, it was so pretty. And then they have that Truckee bike park, which is so cool too. Have you gone there?
Yeah, I've been there.
It's got everything. I mean, it was so
they did
much
a
fun.
great job on that place. It's so,
and I'm sure they're just adding more and more to it.
Yeah. So and then, you know, so like what I was getting at is like the stuff that's local, like really local to me, it's fun. But for me, it's like in comparison to like what we have in Tahoe, I always kind of downplay it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, well, you know, it's all right. You know, so like, it's like we got some okay stuff around here, but
no, it's, I mean, incredible.
Yeah. But I mean, basically Tahoe is like, you know, and when I say Tahoe, it's pretty much anything in the mountains I'm talking about. There's hundreds of miles of space that I'm talking about, but like that, and then Santa Cruz, I go down there a bunch, you know, like ride like UC and stuff like that. So, and then, you know, I don't know. I feel like I'm really lucky where I live that there is a lot of really good riding around here.
How close are you to Santa Cruz?
It's about 2.5 hours to go to Santa Cruz. So, and I have some buddies that live down there and just go down and stay with them usually. And we'll ride all day and then go drink some beers and then ride again. And I'll drive home in the morning or something, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz is one of the places I cannot wait. I mean, I cannot believe I haven't ridden out there yet. Like, it's so crazy. Everyone says it's the most incredible riding too. Like,
it's really good. I would definitely shoot for spring.
Yeah.
Like if you could get there in spring, because the trail is like,
I feel like you have to be a local though to know the trails, right?
Yeah, hit me up. I know people.
Okay.
So yeah, and I'm sure it wouldn't be that very hard for you to find people either. But like, yeah, you definitely need somebody to like show you around when you're like at UC, for example.
Okay.
But if you're in there in the spring though, the dirt's like a lot like Oregon. Then it's like just real loamy and just like perfect like hero dirt. Sometimes in the summertime it'll get a little more blown out. It's still fun though, but it's just it's more of a drier, dusty kind of situation. So the spring is like the perfect time to be there.
Oregon is another one that I recently heard is just unreal with trails. I didn't know. I
want to go to Ashland. I haven't been there yet, but I've had some friends that have been up there and said it's really awesome. I've ridden Bend a bunch of
Bellingham?
times. Huh? I haven't been to Bellingham yet. That's Washington though.
Yeah, but, I really want to go there.
Yeah, I have a friend up there. I mean, what's his name? Josh from Daily MTB. I lost a bet with him last year.
Traveling around.
Yeah, I mean,
connecting all these people.
Yeah, right. So I mean, you're on the Slack group with the other creators. So just tell people where you're going, and I'm sure that most of the time there's people around there. So
what's Seth? That's his name. So I saw the podcast that you did with him. I don't know if it was a recent one because he was talking about what they're opening up. I think this year.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what is that they're opening up?
Oh, he like basically took the money from his Patreon and completely donates every month all of his Patreon money to this bike park that they're building in a city that's close to where he lives.
Wow. Because he has one in his backyard that he just did for like him. And then has this other one. What's it called?
Berm Park, I think is what it's called. Because his house is called Berm Peak.
Yeah.
So they call this Berm Park.
Is it done? Will it be done? Is it already done now?
I think it's almost done, or it is done, and they're just waiting to open it or something. There's it's like the final stages.
Because I was thinking when I leave, I just go up north a little bit, hit that spot, and then go back down to Texas. That would be cool.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, because you're going to want to stay south for the winter. Yeah, up north is going to be.
Up north is cold. I'm actually going to make one more trip before I do the van to New Jersey, and I want to ski.
Yeah,
just go there for a quick little trip. I last year or a year and a half ago, I tore my PCL.
Oh
so
no,
I haven't yet, and it's still torn, but I'm working on getting like a pretty good brace right now for it, and hopefully with that I'll be able to ski because I haven't done anything other than riding just because I don't want to like jeopardize anything or like get hurt. But I do want to go at least once this winter to go ski.
I bought new skis like 3 years ago. I was like, man, I need new skis. It's been forever. And I bought new ones. I used them like once and then I've been riding. So like
would you go to Tahoe? Is that where you'd ski?
Normally, yeah. But I like lived in Europe for a while. I used to ski like in the Alps and stuff like that. Like I've skied all over the place. And I used to be like all winter, all I would do is ski. And then summer I would ride mountain bikes.
Wow.
And like
what a life.
It was somewhere around I'd still have like regular job, right? But somewhere along the line, there was like this one year where it was like really shitty snow. Like it didn't snow very much at all. And because of that, we were just riding mountain bikes and we rode mountain bikes all winter. Then because of that, it was like it broke the cycle. So then the next year I still skied the next year, but not as much because I was mountain biking. And and you know how it goes with riding? Like if you don't ride often enough, you lose it quickly, you know? So you're always like, oh, I don't want to go too long. And I don't know. And
I have this thing, like if I don't ride like every day, I just go nuts a little bit. I'm like, I have to go ride.
Yeah, I was riding
weird not riding
a lot until Sedona, and I got back from Sedona, and I don't know what it was. Like right after Sedona, I got back, and then it was Thanksgiving. I was still riding a bunch, and then after Thanksgiving, for some reason, I just like hit a wall and have been like, I don't want to ride.
Really? Like you don't want to ride?
Yeah, just like always figuring out something else to do. Yeah, it started getting cold. I think that's part of it, but I always get really lazy between Thanksgiving and the end of the year. And I think that's what it is. It's like, so the other day I went out and I rode and I'm like, oh my God. I was training to do like a ride that was 10,000 feet in one day.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like I'm going to have to like start over again.
Holy, 10,000 feet of climbing? Just
Yeah. So
where is that? What are you doing?
we were going to just do a bunch of laps around. I talked to one of my buddies into it, just a bunch of laps in a local spot. So the biggest ride I did before.
So you hyped it up, you talked about it, but you're not going to do it.
Well, I started and I did like a couple of rides. The last ride I did that was big was 6,500 feet. Okay. And so I did a ride like last weekend was like over 3,000. So I know my legs aren't like gone. Yeah. You know, but I need to get back at it. And I looked at my Strava yesterday, I think I posted on Instagram, and I'm at 284,000 feet of climbing this year.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, if I got 16,000 feet before the end of the year, I'd hit 300,000.
300, yeah.
So
Can you do it?
I think I'm going to try it. So basically starting tomorrow, I have 11 days to try to get 16,000
You're saying it to me and everybody. I can't wait to see it at the end of the year.
Yeah. I hope so.
I hope I can do it.
But we're supposed to have all this rain, so it might be tough, but I think I'm just going to have to get out there and like just make it happen.
Is it raining a lot out there right now?
It has been lately. Like last week, it rained almost all week, and now we're getting a couple of days break. And I think next week it's supposed to rain all week again. So, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's like Florida. Florida, it rains literally thunderstorms 1 hour, and then it'll stop. Be beautiful.
Yeah. I was in Key West in August, and it was just like that. Like 1 second, it was like raining cats and dogs, and you thought the building was gonna fall over, and then like 30 minutes later we're like sitting on the porch like in our bathing suits like drinking beers again.
Literally it can thunderstorm on one sidewalk and the other sidewalk is completely sunny. Like that's how crazy the weather is out here.
Yeah, definitely nuts,
but it's beautiful. There's so many now I'm gonna be out here for till January, so I'm excited to go hit up like all the Florida trails, which is like there's just a couple out here, which is I'm excited
for that. There's some really cool stuff over there though.
Yeah.
I really want to ride some of that stuff that's down, I think a little bit more south. I think it's like Alfaya or something like that.
Alfaya.
Yeah.
They just built a whole bunch of stuff for that, and Markham Park and Virginia Key. Yeah, those are all such good ones. I've actually been on the road bike a lot too out here.
Yeah.
Which has been
fun. I would imagine. I mean, Florida's super flat, so you can definitely get your miles in that way.
Yeah. Paul's saying I should be building out my van right now.
Yeah.
I hope he stays in the States because I want to meet him out somewhere and just ride. Yeah. It was the first time. I'm gonna ban
Paul from my podcast because all he does is throw monkey wrenches, man.
He's funny. Like it was the first time riding with him out in Sedona, and I had a blast. Like such a cool guy.
So was that your first time in Sedona, or you've been there before?
No, I've been in Sedona before. First time meeting Paul though.
Yeah.
He's a character. I like him.
Yeah, he definitely is. That fest is super fun, huh?
I've never been to the festival, and that was the first time. I went straight from the Rome Fest the weekend before, and then stayed and went to the Sedona Fest, and it was awesome.
Where's the Rome Fest at?
The Rome Fest, it was literally Red Agave. It's right there. Yeah. Like all those houses and everything. Yeah. It was in there.
And that's
which now that I think about it, I saw it empty, and I never saw it empty before. I'm like, man, this is where we were all weekend. Like it's not that big, but it looked like there were so many people there.
Yeah.
And it's all women.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was it's a woman's like
total women, thing. So it was, and they have parties, they have demo days, pretty much exactly like Sedona Bike Fest, but just all women. And it was cool. I went on a ride. I led a few rides that weekend. And one of the girls was like, yeah, my husband and my kids gave me this for my birthday present. And I was like, that is so awesome. Yeah, so many women just out there riding bikes, just sharing the same passion, just so stoked to be riding. It was so cool. They invited a couple other riders and athletes to just talk, and it was just so inspiring. I was pumped.
It's definitely cool seeing, the sport grow with women. It's definitely not I would say for a long time it was very like a male dominated kind of sport, right?
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
sometimes it feels like that, but I mean, to be honest, if you even watch the videos and stuff, I'm always with probably like so many girls.
Hmm.
We're just always trying to ride, and that's what's cool. It's just like we all get together, we're all just inspire each other to kind of do big things and do, ride stuff, and that's
Yeah.
always what I love.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like riding bikes is about, fitness on one hand, but on the other hand, it's about having fun and
Oh
being
yeah.
like with your friends and sharing the stoke. And I think that's at least that's the reason I keep doing it,
Yeah, yeah. And it's
So
cool to, I mean, for other girls to ride with other girls, it's cool to, if you want to do something, it's like, you're not just riding at the boys' pace or like the speed that they are. It's very different sometimes. So when you're
uh-huh.
with another girl there and you can like follow them in or like, hey, what do I need to do here or there?
Mhm.
It's always just cool to have them and yeah,
Yeah.
just ride.
Do you feel like there's like a bro culture with like mountain
So
bikers?
I
Like,
saw that on one of the comments. I don't feel it. I don't see it. I
yeah,
mean, I ride with everybody,
yeah,
and as you guys see, I ride with a lot of girls too. But I don't feel
yeah,
like it's too broy. I mean,
yeah.
I like
I
riding with
don't
the
either.
guys.
But I mean, I don't know because like you surround yourself by the people that you want to surround yourself with.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't surround myself with people that are that way.
Exactly.
And
Yeah. I
like,
mean, there
there's
are there are bro kind of guys out there riding,
yeah,
and just as in any sport. But
yeah, right.
yeah, I don't feel it too much. So
Me neither. I don't. I mean, we have ladies that ride with us, and um, yeah, it's just whatever. We're all out
yeah.
just to have a good time. So there's
Yeah, but
plenty of those
we
girls
don't
that
like
can kick
picture
my butt.
ourselves like
Like,
better or worse. Like we're all just the same out riding.
yeah,
That's pretty
yeah,
much how it
100%.
is.
We're just out like having a good time. So I think we did a shuttle trip like a couple weeks ago up in Georgetown. If you haven't,
Oh,
like, that would be a fun
Georgetown's
place to.
another one I want to
Yeah,
go
yeah. And
to.
there was just as many girls in that van as there was guys, and we were all
Yeah.
just
How
like we were having a
awesome
great
though.
time.
That's so cool that it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
growing. Every time I go to the bike parks, I see more and more women and I'm just like,
yeah.
yes, this is
When I was
cool.
in Bend, there was a lot of women riders up there. It like really blew me away.
Really.
Like, yeah, like it was like so many that it was like noticeable. You know what I mean? Where you're like,
Nice.
what the heck? Like, like 8 girls just rode by. You're like, I'm not used to even seeing that many girls
Yeah.
in one day of mountain biking.
Sky Park is sometimes like that too. I like it.
Yeah,
It's like has a little bit of everybody. And I feel like it's such a place that, you can bring your girlfriend, your boyfriend, like you
yeah,
kind of go as like a couple and you
yeah,
ride or you're just with a bunch of friends and it's like everybody. It's like very family oriented. It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And it's got riding for all different like skill levels.
And that's good. So you can go as a group of people. It's like skiing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you can all go together and meet back up at a certain point and eat or drink a beer or whatever, and then
Yeah.
go ride some more. And so,
That's
yeah,
exactly what it is.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's super fun. What do you so you're planning on getting on the road this year, then what?
um I
What
mean,
do you think I do with the
one step
channel?
at a time. I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
mean? What am I gonna do with what?
With the channel. What's
Oh.
like the just document that like whole thing or
Yeah, pretty much the van life, just travel everywhere, ride, pretty much bring as many places as I can to, the viewers and whoever's following along the journey. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have some pretty challenging times in the van, I think, and I can't
Yeah.
wait. I'm not gonna be alone because I'm gonna have everybody there with me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. We're all gonna grow together.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
And I would love to have like input. I mean, if anybody has suggestions or anything, I mean, it'd be cool to hear from everyone.
Yeah. That's the only thing about like YouTube where that it's like a little less interactive than like some other platforms that I've like been part of over the years. You know what I
Do
mean?
you think
Like,
it's less
yeah,
interactive?
yeah, because it feels like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the way that notifications are or something like that. Because I answer like every comment on my
Hmm.
videos, but you don't see like conversations like spark on there. It's not like Reddit or like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it just seems like they're more like single
I guess it
reply
is
kind
just
of
comments,
things.
kind. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where like you don't see like it's harder to build that community.
Hmm.
So
What
like
other platforms do you think is better for that?
I'm just thinking like in my head, like, you know, the way that people would chat on like a Reddit or a forum or something like that, you know. And
Yeah.
so I guess having like a Patreon is nice because then you can have a little bit more conversation with people. But
I don't have one of those. Everyone's talking about them.
Yeah. So I mean, you're there. I mean, you could get some support that way, but I mean, it's totally up to you. Some people decide not to do it because they feel like then they're like they owe them something else, you know.
Mhm.
So I think it's all about how you portray that to people, and then like how you portray it to yourself, you know.
Well, I
Like,
think it's a cool platform. It's just
yeah,
it's just one more.
yeah, exactly, right. Do
Are
you
you
like do a lot of like Instagram kind of stuff, or do you have
so
like a TikTok or
Instagram's
something?
big. I mean, that's kind of where I started. That's all my
Yeah.
stuff. But I recently just made a TikTok, and
Uh-huh.
one of my videos went to like 3.5 million. So I've just
What?
kind of it's
What
just
did you do?
it was just a GoPro video from Mountain Creek
Yeah.
out of New Jersey. Yeah. And it was just the GoPro on I think it was a chesty, just going through a jump line. It was like some wooden features and drops. And I was
Uh-huh.
just kind of talking through it and just having a good time. I mean, I was like laughing and talking
Yeah.
through it. And all the comments are like, oh my gosh, I thought this was like a 10-year-old boy and blah, blah, blah. And like, then they realize it's me and they're like, what the heck? Like, this is
Yeah.
crazy. So yeah, it went viral somehow. And it
That's so
just
rad.
is in the millions. And then ever since then, I just kind of kept posting my videos. And so I have a TikTok and that's kind of going good. And
Yeah.
YouTube and Instagram pretty much.
Yeah, I do all those too. I think I made a TikTok account, and I
Mhm.
definitely like waste a good portion of my life on TikTok watching
So
videos.
I honestly try and just because you can get sucked in. I
Oh,
mean, you
it's
can
so
sit
easy.
on there for a long time. I usually just kind of post. I read, some stuff coming back, and then I just move on just because
Yeah.
it'll suck you in.
Well, and Instagram's really good at it now with the reels because you'll be like scrolling through
I
like
know.
accounts, right? And then they throw a reel in there and you watch it, and next
And
thing
then
you
you
know,
can just scroll out and keep
yeah,
going to all the
yeah,
reels.
they just sucked you right in, like
I-
like in this little side door, like it opened up, they grab you and like
yeah,
now you're in
that's
the real.
exactly it.
Next thing you know, you're like an hour later, you're like, oh my God, what am
And
I doing with my life?
it's those reels that I've been itching to go skiing because I don't know why. Maybe it's the phone's hearing me right now talking about it, but
Yeah,
like all I'm getting is like skiing and like super cool videos of that. And I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I gotta do this at least once.
yeah. Isn't that so weird? Like you'll have a
So weird.
conversation with your friend, you'll be like, oh man, I'd love to go to Jamaica. And then
I,
like
Jamaica
you've
ads.
done nothing but it. You're like, this is not right.
It's
I don't
crazy. I was just talking to my friend about it yesterday, and it was like it was even things that she was saying that things that you see at like the grocery store, and it just so happens that maybe your phone is kind of like the camera could be on it or something. It just picks
yeah,
up things, and like I'm like, geez, that's kind of scary. And then you'll
yeah,
see it on
yeah.
like your news feed or like Google or
Some
something.
of that stuff too is just like algorithms, man. Like
Yeah.
those algorithms know so much. I read this thing where they were saying the algorithm for like Target would know when some of their female shoppers knew when they were pregnant before they knew they were pregnant. Just by like things that they were like buying or something like that. So they could start like
That's
targeting
crazy.
ads and shit. It's like, what? Like, how
Wow.
is that even possible?
Yeah,
Like,
that is pretty wild.
yeah. So who knows, man? I don't even know. But I can tell
In,
you what, whatever the algorithm like YouTube knows about me, it just doesn't like me.
is it good stuff though, or is it what? Like,
Oh, I'm just saying, like, they don't push me anywhere, like
oh.
like as far as my channel goes. So they're like, not that dude. Nope. I feel like I need to make another YouTube channel and not put my face on it. And
You
then
have two, right? You have
yeah.
So what's the difference? Because I think I saw two videos from each one. I mean, it's
Oh yeah. So this is just the podcast, the Biker Bar, and
okay. So the one that I saw with Seth was
that would be
probably
this. Yeah, that's
oh, okay.
this channel. And then the other channel is more like your channel, like
Okay.
POV. Like I've been doing a lot of these reviews lately. So they're actually kind of fun because like when like you watch all these YouTube videos like on pedals, right? Let's say
Mhm.
somebody's talking about some pedals for like 15 minutes. It's like, really? You
Yeah.
know, like when you're on the side of the trail and your buddy's like, hey, do you like those pedals? You tell them in like a minute, right? You're
Yeah.
like, this is cool, that sucks, whatever. You know, like they're worth the money. And
Yeah.
so I decided to start doing these reviews. They're 90-second reviews. So basically, like I only have
90
90 seconds.
seconds, I think, is the time.
Yeah.
If not, you're
So
losing me.
yeah, exactly. So it's been super fun. But for whatever reason, they're like, I don't know, I'm just bad at the thumbnail game or something like that. Cause they're not like everybody like is sending me comments and messages like, man, I really like that. But they're just not getting the views. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
My
Maybe it takes
apparently
a while.
my thumbnail and titles kind of aren't good. Someone
Yeah.
told me it was like a file name.
Oh, really?
Someone on this chat
That
probably.
sounds like Paul. I was gonna say that sounds exactly like something Paul would say.
So
Yeah.
now it's like I just take hours and hours, and I always think of them just like, man, it's probably gonna suck. It's gonna be bad again. I always
Yeah.
think about it, and it's just like I can't think I don't know. It's got to be
Yeah.
catchy, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're doing something. I mean, you're getting good views though. I mean, you're getting like 20, 30,000 views on your videos and stuff.
Thank
So
you. I don't know what's
yeah.
going on, but something's working.
I think it's your stoke, man. Somebody said at the very beginning, they said, oh, it's single track sampler's twin sister.
So, oh my gosh, everybody says this, and I can't wait to meet him. I've never met him before. He
Really?
was actually in Bentonville the same time that I was, and we were
Uh-huh.
maybe gonna like try and meet up to ride, but it ended up I was leaving, he was staying.
Yeah.
We just didn't end up meeting, but it's so funny. Everyone, like my first couple of videos, I didn't know who he was, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, are you related to him?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No," and they're like, "You're just like him. You guys even look like each other." People were like, if he didn't have a beard, he'd be exactly your twin. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, jeez, who is this guy? But yeah,
That's
I've seen
funny.
his videos. He
You're both
seems
from Florida too?
super
I
awesome.
mean,
Really, he's from Florida?
yeah. His
I didn't know.
family's in Florida. He also played college soccer too.
Holy
So
crap! You gotta
yeah.
meet him.
See, Alex is super cool. I have never ridden with him though. I've met him and I've had him on the podcast a couple of times, but we just didn't get a chance to ride together. So I'm hoping that maybe this year sometime when he comes out. And
He should have came to Sedona.
Yeah, it would have been rad if he was out there.
That would have been like
know.
everybody was out there.
Yeah. That event seems to get a lot of YouTubers at it. And I think it's just because it's a really fun event. Do you always go
every year?
I have been going every year for like 4 or 5 years now.
Wow.
And it's just so much fun. Like it's like, I don't know. I mean, you've been to a bunch of events. How high does that rank?
No, that one was one of my favorites. And it was just like, well, I wasn't racing. I was just kind of having fun and with everybody. And I met so many people. Like it was all you guys were there, and it was just like so much fun. I was able to kind of put a face to everybody and got to ride with people, and it was just so cool. It's just a place that everybody goes to.
Yeah.
And one time a year, I heard they're doing it in March, right?
Yeah, that's when it normally is. The one that because it happened in November this year because the March one got canceled because of COVID. So
okay. And is it the same? Is it going to be as big? Like it'll be the same, right?
Yeah, it'll be the same. Yeah. I mean, this one, the one in November was probably a little bit smaller than it normally is. Yeah, just a little bit, but like not much smaller. But for the most part, like that's the same vibe. And I think I don't know, like what it is specifically. Like I mean, anybody that listens to this podcast all the time has heard me rant about it, but it's just such a fun thing. I think it's the trails are right there.
Do you think it's the riding too? Like where we are, it's like such incredible riding. Like it's endless. We can shuttle and go anywhere. So there's just so much of that, and
there's so much of it, and it's all like relatively close.
Yeah.
Like you can go like epic rides, and they're all like 15 minutes away from there, 20 minutes away from the fest, you know? And like, or you could ride stuff that's pretty damn fun, like right from I mean, you could ride over to Brewers and do laps on Brewers, like right from the track.
Did you ride the shuttles from the?
I've never ridden the shuttle. No, we always like I've either driven down with my truck and then we shuttle with that, or we fly down and then we just rent a pickup truck and then get a tailgate pad and just
So
go all
we
over
didn't
like
we
that.
didn't do the shuttles either because some of us like couldn't or had tickets and the other ones didn't. So we just all just drove or rode from there, and it was
Yeah.
so cool. We
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I got to do Highline 3 times that week, and it was so cool.
That's a really fun trip. I feel like my favorite ride in Sedona is going and doing Slim Shady,
Slim
Easy
Shady's fun.
Breezy, then climb back up and then do Highline and then have like a shuttle vehicle at the bottom of Highline.
That one day of riding? That's a lot.
So you don't have to like climb back Templeton over to
Yeah.
Slim Shady again.
The last time I did Highline, we didn't have to
You're
do
such
that.
a downhill racer. That's a lot of climbing.
That's a lot. But this last time I did Highline, we went like a roadway. We didn't even, and it like took us right to Red Agave. And usually we get down from Highline and I'm dreading the climb back because it's so rocky. It's
that
pretty much
Templeton
you
climb.
have to climb up.
Yeah.
Like do you climb that or do you hike it?
I've hiked it whenever I've gone that way.
Okay.
But the very first time we went that way, the next year when we went and rode Highline, somebody is like, "No, dude, we can park these cars down here and we can shuttle." And we're like,
Oh, wow.
"What?" So then we did that, and now that's the way we do it. So that's why I said we will park one car at like Bell Rock, and then do Slim Shady all the way down, Easy Breezy back up to Highline, then down Highline, and then take that, like, basically once you get to the bottom of Highline, you just like it's flat all the way over to where we park basically, and that's it. And
that's awesome. That's the way to go.
And then go back to the fest and drink beer and listen to the band, and like
that's so cool.
Have a good time. So
do you think so? This in March, it's going to be exactly the same. I mean, they're going to have
it'll be the same.
That movie and like just movies going and games and cool.
Yeah, they always have that. I've never done the movie thing, but they always have that. So
did you do it this year or no?
No, I haven't. I should do it in the spring. So
it was so cool. It was good. Yeah. Everyone's kind of sitting around.
I heard there was a really cool one about Downeyville that somebody was saying. They were kind of talking about that. Yeah, you're like, whatever.
No,
I was just there. I didn't watch the video.
I did. Maybe I got there when it wasn't playing or it went already. I was getting up a lot and moving around.
Well, I mean, that's where I met you. Like you were saying, like you got to meet a bunch of people. So that was, I mean, it was fun for me too, as well, in the same aspect. And even though I've been going all the time, like I'm still meeting new people. I met you. I met the guy from the segment. It was somebody new that I had never met. Yeah, super
Mark,
cool
right?
dude. Yeah, and just it's always fun to meet subscribers as well. And then there's certain like different vendors or whatever that like you talk to all the time. So like Nate from Tasco, super cool guy.
Super
so
awesome.
Yeah, and even though it like just seen a lot of those people at Sea Otter, it seemed like it was really close.
Yeah.
Normally it's like I go to Sedona in the spring and then Sea Otter in the fall, so you don't see them so close to each other.
Yeah, it was,
but it was still like
all combined this year.
Yeah. But it was
How was Sea Otter?
Sea Otter was fun. It was like way smaller than it normally is.
Okay.
Like it felt
so
like
wait,
half
you
the
went and you don't bring your bike?
No, I didn't.
Ever?
I've been there twice. I haven't taken my bike either time.
Wow, that's crazy. There's so much riding out there too.
Well, I mean, I had my bike because we rode UC, but I didn't like ride my bike at Sea Otter at all.
Yeah, next time definitely ride like the downhill course if you can. Like all those are it's definitely worth a ride.
Yeah, I'll have to do it. I mean, usually whenever I've gone to Sea Otter or the 2 times that I went, it's like really just trying to meet companies so that like I can get, that's like where I can network a lot for like this show.
Yeah.
And so
that place
really,
is a good spot. I mean, Sedona too.
Yeah. And I mean, Sedona is smaller, so then you can actually have conversations with people. When you're in Sea Otter, it's so busy. Like you're lucky if you get a couple of minutes out of somebody, you know what I mean? Because there's so many, somebody else wants to buy something,
and there's
whatever.
So much going on, especially like with racing and everything. Like that's it's a lot.
So, but I think anybody that asks about going to an event, I always tell them definitely go to Sedona, because that one is just it's just so fun. It's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm so happy I got to go to that one. It was cool.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
always for years been telling me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get around. I'm gonna get around, and
Yeah.
finally got to it.
That's cool. Have you gotten any interesting stories from your subscribers, like people that you've met or emails that they sent you about them inspiring them or anything like that?
Inspiring ones, it's very humbling. I really love hearing about it. I've had dads, message me saying like there's like their daughters watching and or wives, I'm getting their wives to get on the bikes. And like, I honestly love that. And so when I went to North Star, I met actually a lot of people that they saw the YouTube and they were like, hey, my wife's here. Like, she wants to meet you. And I love that kind of stuff. And I love when people actually come to me, like, in person, whenever I'm out or riding, and just come say, hey. And I that's so awesome. Like, that's where I'm here. I just want to spread the passion and love for riding.
Yeah. 100%. It's really cool when people come up. I always feel bad whenever somebody like sends a message on Instagram and tells you, oh, I saw you, but I didn't.
I know. And then I'm like, why did you say hi?
Like, you should have said hi. Like, I totally don't care.
Yeah.
So
I wish I would love to do it more in person and stuff. Comments sometimes just get washed up, or like DMs maybe. It's just unfortunate. I don't really see them sometimes, and I wish I could get back to everybody. But if I'm out and someone sees me, I love when they come up to me.
The DMs are awful because I lose conversations that I'm not trying to lose in DMs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody sends me a message and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go meet that guy to ride. And then like 3 days later, I'm looking, where'd that guy go?
Yeah.
Like, I can't find it. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm so irritated.
I have mine's like split in 3. It's like primary, general, and then another one.
Yeah, I think that's how mine is.
But
I still like end up losing.
Lost. Yeah.
Or it'll be like, I'm positive that's on Instagram, and maybe it was really on Facebook, or you know what I mean. And so it sucks. It really sucks whenever I drop the ball, and every once in a while that happens. Somebody's like, hey, I'm gonna be there tomorrow at 3, and you're like, oh shit.
You gotta be
there. Something came up.
When you were in Sedona, did you get to ride with a lot of people? Like a lot of the guys?
Yeah. I didn't ride with a whole lot of the other YouTubers, just mostly the group that I was with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had a good time. There was a bunch of us that met up in South Mountain in Phoenix, and we rode there before we came to Sedona, and then we went to Sedona, and then
how's the riding out there?
Oh, if you haven't ridden in South Mountain, you need to go ride.
No, I haven't. Man, I gotta write this down. This is that's another spot. I think places like that I don't really know. I just want to learn about them and then go ride.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be passing through Phoenix for sure to go to California.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of this thing called YouTube? They got mountain bike videos all over the place on there.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do my research.
Check this out. You can just type the name of a city and it'll show you trails that are right there.
I just want to go from like recommendations, okay?
No, I hear you.
Jeez.
Good times. So we're getting close to 2 hours here, and I always ask people, and it goes by quick, right?
Yeah.
So I always like
to read some of these comments. I'm like getting sidetracked, but
don't worry about it.
Well, they were asking questions. I wanted to answer.
You're pulling a Paul right now. Now I can see why you guys get along. I don't
know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know either. He's getting banned though. I did say that earlier. So no, the comments are fun on the live stream. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it, but honestly, I don't ever want it to get in the way of the conversation.
Yeah.
So I just try to. I forgot to tell you, we didn't have a very long intro time before.
Sorry. I had a crying baby here.
So, anyways, nonetheless, now I'm losing my train of thought. That's what I was trying to say. The YouTube, that's the thing. So I always ask people at the end of the show what YouTube channels that they like to watch, whether it has anything to do with mountain biking or not. Like if you're into, basket weaving YouTube channel or whatever. So who do you like to watch?
Honestly, lately I've just been watching a lot of van builds, vans, and all of I do watch Paul's, Alan's. I don't know. I don't really watch that much other YouTube.
Out of the van builders, is there anybody in particular that you really like?
No, there's so many that I don't really
Can't
know.
remember their names.
No,
Yeah.
it's actually wild. It's almost like TikTok, how you can just kind of keep going and going, and it just, after watching one just pops up again, and it's like, all right, I'll just keep watching this one. No, my dad probably knows more. He knows the names probably, but I just watch them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds bad.
No. It's all good. It's all good. So
as soon as I get off this, like this call, I'm gonna start thinking of all the ones that I look up,
right?
Or just things I'm like, when people ask you on the spot and you just don't know what to say.
Yeah. There's
I'm feeling like that right now.
Yeah, no, I hear you. There's a guy and his wife. It's like Tim and Allie or something like that, or he's like kind of tall, skinny, dark-haired guy, and she's a little shorter little girl.
Blonde?
And, huh?
She blonde?
I think so, but she's like real spunky and stuff. Like they have a really good like banter back and forth, and I always end up watching a bunch of theirs because they're entertaining, and they kind of keep it real. So, anyways,
do you have any suggestions?
It's crazy how much content. Huh?
Any other suggestions on who I should watch on YouTube?
Trent and Allie. Somebody just said it. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about.
Oh.
So, yeah. Honestly, I don't really know. I do the same thing as you. There's so much content.
Yeah.
And really, for me, the ones that I end up watching are really based around the vehicle that I'm trying to buy.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking for somebody building a Ford Transit because I want to see like exactly what they did. Yeah. So it doesn't always have to do necessarily with just like van build in general, but sometimes it'll be like, I don't know, van build cabinets or something just to see how they do it.
I guess now that I think about it, if I go on YouTube, I'm pretty much looking something specific. Like if I look up a trail or something, and it always comes up like Nate Hill.
Yeah.
Always comes up. So I always end up watching his videos on mountain biking.
He's a shredder. Oh my God. I watched his like his hangover video compared to how I rode hangover, and
he just like climbs and hops on these rocks or just does these lines that I'm just like, geez.
And he was riding with Jeff Kendall Weed too, which is another guy that rides like that. So the two of them were just riding around. They were just making it look like it was this super fun downhill, and I'm out there just killing myself, like going over these rocks and all this stuff, and I'm just like, this is horrible. I feel like they like tilted the earth when they rode it, and it was like this super fun downhill that they're just smashing everything.
That's funny. I did hangover, but I didn't do the whole thing. We climbed up halfway up, and then it opened up to this really pretty like scenery, pretty open. But I don't even think that was like halfway up. We got to that point. The sun was kind of coming down, so we're like, man, we probably have to turn back. So I know it's like a loop, but I feel like we just got to that point and turned back. And the stuff that we climbed up, like I couldn't ride that stuff down. It was gnarly.
Yeah.
It was like so on the edge. The sun was going down. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's definitely it was interesting. It's a very interesting ride. I don't know personally for me if the juice was worth the squeeze there.
Really?
Some people really like that trail a lot.
It wasn't like a Highline?
I feel like Highline's such a better trail.
Yeah.
Personally. And I was on a BKXE stream a couple weeks ago, and he was saying that he likes Hangover way better. And he thought that it was more difficult. And I could say, yeah, it's more difficult, but like climbing more difficult, I feel like, not necessarily. But
I feel like he likes the techie climby stuff. I ran into him on Highline, but we were already done with Highline and we were on the way out. And I guess it was what was the trail that you said where you have to climb up the rocky stuff?
The Templeton.
Yeah. So I think it was that. And we like were passing each other on one of the climbs, and I kept going back down to try and get this one turn. It was like this techie tight turn. And then he stopped, and then he was trying to do it, and we both were just like trying to do it. But I can tell he just loves probably climbing in these techie like hard climbs. Yeah, and I was like, that's cool.
He's definitely into the climbs. The guy that he has a property that they're building out up in sort of close to Downeyville.
Yeah.
So and the guy that he's building with, I've built a bunch of trails with, and also done a lot of riding with as well. And that guy also really likes to climb. So whenever he's doing his trail videos at their property, and he's like, "Oh man, this climb kind of sucks," or this one, he won't say sucks. He'll be like, "Oh, that one's a little challenging." And I'm thinking, if he's saying that's challenging,
oh gosh, I'd be walking it
horrible.
probably.
It's just horrible. So I'm really curious to see what people say once they go up and ride these trails that they're building up there, because those guys don't have anybody to check themselves. Like both of them are like love horrible climbs, so they're both like, "Oh, this is rad."
That's gonna be so fun. That'll be interesting. You're right. They probably will do everything like super climby techy.
But I helped build a little downhill trail over there, so I can at least say that stuff will be fun. So
cool.
I can vouch for that.
And then, is there going to be like jumps and everything?
Yeah, he everything's pretty short that's on their property, but
okay.
Yeah, he built some proper like tabletop kind of jumps, like a bike park kind of line.
Yeah,
you know,
kind of like Bentonville has all those jump lines. It's like tables and endless amount of riding there.
Yeah, I would like to go there. That's
you haven't gone. Yeah,
no,
put it on your bucket list.
Yeah,
you know, another place is that recently it was it's in Wyoming. It's called
I'm drawing a blank.
Wyoming. Come on, somebody say it.
Somebody say it. We'll just go ahead and
I don't know.
shuffle our feet for a second. Wyoming. I don't even know what's in Wyoming.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna kill me. Wyoming.
It's right there. I can't think of it. I have no idea what would be in Wyoming.
We're gonna get off this call and I'm gonna remember it.
That's it. That's what it comes down to. Well, that's that, right?
Come on, somebody.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, I want to tell you, I really appreciate you taking the time to come and hang out with us all here on the B1KER Bar and have a bunch of laughs and tell us about where you came from and whatnot.
Thank you. I haven't told anybody about my sleeping bag pad in a while, so that was cool. I laughed about that.
No, super fun. Is like it was good to get to know you. You know, we didn't get to chat very much in Sedona, so it was definitely fun to talk. And maybe next time that you're around,
hopefully we'll get to ride soon.
I'm
definitely coming up there, so I'm gonna hit you up and take me.
Well, if you think you're gonna be in Sedona for the next festival, then we'll definitely see you there.
Sure. I'm gonna be in California before then.
Okay, cool. So just let me know whenever you're around, because I ride all the time, so
I'm gonna inspire you to get the van.
Yeah, there you go. That's great. You're gonna come out here and cost me like $50,000. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, Heather. Thanks.
You're gonna do it now.
Yeah, right. Anyways, well, I really appreciate it. I had a really good time chatting with you.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, definitely. And all you guys out there listening still, if you hadn't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. If you liked this show, hit the thumbs up. It doesn't take much effort. Just got to click the thumbs up. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down twice, because it'll make you feel better.
And tell us why. I need to know why.
Right? And anybody that listens to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, do me a favor and go over there and write me a review, a 5-star review. That would be awesome. I feel like it tells the algorithm what to do, and that'll help get this out there to more people. If you have friends that you think would like to hear this podcast, shoot them a link over there, send them over there and check this out. So anyways, all the normal things that I say at the end, blah, blah, blah. Follow my Instagram, help me out on Patreon. You know how it goes. But one thing I do want you guys to remember, if you only remember one thing, it only takes a bike to be a biker. So get out and be one.